Hello, and thank you for contacting Wave Support. I see from your clinical request you're struggling a little bit with these post-RK corneas, and it sounds like the previous lenses that were more of a monovision fit were fitting reasonably well. I'm unclear from your clinical request whether or not those original lenses were centering properly or not. And it may be possible that if they were not centering that well, the patient may have been getting by since they were a non-multifocal lens, which creates a little bit of a concern, obviously, with these multifocals to get them centered. Just a couple observations. As you know, the rules all go out the window on these RK patients. And with that said, let's take a look at these designs here. So if I look first at your right eye design, this actually looks pretty good. Overall, what you did is probably where I would start with this lens. One of the things I noticed I like to kind of do is see how close this design simulates their original design. So if you kind of click over to RSim, you'll get sort of the best spherical equivalent. You'll notice it's a 945 base curve, and I believe your habitual lenses were about a 925 or so. So these lens designs, although they're very nice, are a little bit on the flatter side compared to the habitual. So if the habitual were centering, that may give you your answer right there to why you're having a little trouble. What I would probably do a couple things to get these lenses to center a little bit better would be to try to increase the landing zone areas out here in the outer part, and then just try to snug that whole lens up a little bit more. And if possible, I might even consider going to a larger lens if you have a little wiggle room in the overall diameter. I've had pretty good success going out almost limbus to limbus on some of these lenses. I usually get up around 11 or so, or 11 and a half if I have to, and sometimes I even go to a mini scleral lens up around 14, 14 and a half. But I would maybe try to go up to 11 if you can. But let's look at this right lens. I just put up a little sample here. What I basically did is took your same basic design, left it in axial. I tried to increase this landing zone out here by just bringing down this back OZ to 4.5 and about 5.5. Let Wave redesign it, and then what I did is I went through, and you'll notice now you get a little more snugness in this superior meridian. It hugs a little bit better, as well as this vertical meridian. So that, get a little more hugging in that meridian may keep that lens to center a little bit better. And if you want, you can always bring this down a little bit more by clicking on the blue or the pink, just to kind of get a little snugger fit on that lens, and that may help that lens center a little bit better. Same thing if we look at the left eye. I'll bring that one up here. One of the things I noticed on this one, you also have a little thinner center thickness, which is okay in general, but as you know, if you keep that up as thick as you can, that'll help keep that lens dropping down a little bit more. So I usually try to get up around 28 to 30 in that range to get a little bit more heavier central weight. Once again, I bring the size down, back OZ size down to a little smaller size, and that's going to try to increase this landing zone between the blue and the pink on the eye. Go back to leave it on free form, let it design itself, and here's what I come up with. You've got a lens that, although your lenses actually line up pretty well in this cornea, I would try to probably get this lens a little snugger, and you see particularly this inferior meridian, I get a little bit better alignment by going to a little smaller back OZ. So again, try to increase the size if you can get away with it. Increase the landing zone out here, and that would keep it on the snugger side, and of course keeping the central thickness is reasonably thick can help out. Well, I hope those little subtle adjustments will give you helpful insights. These multifocal lenses on these corneas are difficult because, as you know, the lenses can float around a little bit, maybe not always perfectly centering, and I suspect part of the success with the prior lenses that they were a single vision design. So hopefully you can get these centering well, and I wish you well in that design. Thank you for contacting Wave Support, and have a great day.